It started with a trailer for the Forbidden Sanctum, which launches in 1 week.
It will come in between the big games, Callisto and stuff, so I might find time for it.
Many have met their fate here in the shade of Fell Shrine. So, step lightly. But here you are bound by new rules. My rules. Each step with gold to tempt you.
Is it a boss mechanic like Metamorph? Like
a curse to
summon a boss or something?
But do not give up, for vast riches await the bold. Pillage this sanctum.
Yeah, I do, so I try to go as fast as I can to
one day
max.
you may uncover its secrets.
What the fuck is that? Yeah, but they had some rooms where they had bosses. Just boss rooms, but now I'm seeing monsters as well. That's the ruthless mode you were talking about. I'm not interested. Let's see the league mechanic. Couldn't see much from this trail.
The Forbidden Sanctum is an old Templar enclave, long rumored to be hidden beneath the Fell Shrine ruins. Abandoned for a long time, it is now controlled by a malevolent entity. In this league, you'll explore it, find out its secrets, and deal with the evil that lurks there. The Sanctum Challenge League is a roguelike game, played out one room at a time as you explore Rayclast and the Atlas in Path of Exile.
Roguelike.
In every area or map you enter, you can make a choice of which room in the Sanctum you will explore next. On the Sanctum map, you can see the contents of a few rooms ahead, enabling you to plot a path through its dangerous halls. And the Sanctum is dangerous.
So it's like Slay the Spire, it almost looks like.
Expect to be able to complete it on your first try. Getting to the deeper floors requires experience, knowledge, and luck. You should expect that your early attempts will fail, but over time, you'll be able to push yourself farther and farther. As you progress deeper into the Sanctum, you'll find a variety of treasures that will help you eventually fight your way to the dangers that await you at the end of its 4 floors. Eventually, by endgame, you may be able to push through all 4 floors to face the final boss. Every roguelike needs a resource to help you track how well the run
That doesn't seem too bad.
In the Forbidden Sanctum, it is
Certainly better than that Calandra
here.
mechanic.
As you explore the Sanctum, your resolve is threatened by the dangers within. When you lose all of your resolve, your Sanctum run ends. Your level of resolve is maintained between consecutive rooms on your run, but is only shown when you're in the Sanctum itself. The resolve mechanic applies equally to all build archetypes. Your resolve is reduced when you are hit by monsters or environmental hazards in the Sanctum, and these telegraphed attacks are not affected by regular Path of Exile defensive mechanics, such as evasion, armor, or block. While these attacks do some nominal damage to your regular life, the bulk of their impact is against your resolve. This mechanic provides a mechanism for tracking your progress between rooms, where your regular life pool would long ago have been recovered. Another aspect of the resolve system is that characters who are struggling can be ejected from the Sanctum without actually having to die, avoiding experience loss or hardcore death. So maintaining a healthy level of resolve is key as you navigate the Sanctum, and that means making careful choices of what rooms you enter. Let's have a look at some of the things that Sanctum rooms can contain. Afflicted rooms cause you to gain an affliction when you enter them. Afflictions make your Sanctum run more difficult, for example, reducing your resolve recovery causing rewards to become hidden on the Sanctum map, or causing Sanctum rooms to spawn volatile anomalies that follow you. These minor afflictions accumulate as you get deeper and deeper into a run, making it more challenging. Major afflictions exist and are a big deal. They have significant consequences, such as entirely preventing the recovery of resolve. So, a Sanctum run gets harder and harder as you pick up more afflictions. Sounds great, but every roguelike needs a way for you to gain power throughout your run. In the Forbidden Sanctum, that system is boons. Boons are beneficial buffs that help you as you progress through the Sanctum. Minor boons make things a little easier, such as slowing down monsters or adding a special shield to your resolve called Inspiration. Major boons don't come along often, but have large effects, such as preventing you from receiving more minor afflictions, or recovering your resolve to 50% the next time you run out. Due to the vast variety of afflictions and boons, no two runs are the same. Generally speaking, your best Sanctum runs are the ones where the afflictions you choose have little effect on you, and the boons either counteract them or have a large benefit for the strategy you're running. Some rooms in the Sanctum contain a fountain.
What about the
that restores
rewards?
some of your lost resolve. Others contain afflicted fountains that restore even more resolve at a cost. Rooms with a
I don't see any
treasure
loot
reward contain
dropping.
chests full of the Templar Aureus currency, a type of gold coin they used for commerce within their Sanctum. You'll also find some Aureus coins from monsters that you kill as you explore. These are picked up automatically, like Azurite, and are not tradable, and like your afflictions and boons, are lost when your Sanctum run ends. Some rooms contain a merchant who accepts your Aureus coins in exchange for boons. Plan your purchases carefully, as you may encounter the merchant again later on with even more expensive boons to purchase. Occasionally, the sinister powers controlling the Sanctum will present you with the choice of making an accursed pact. You are given several pacts to choose from, and can even opt to take all that you are offered. All pacts have a big upside and a big downside, such as exchanging a portion of your maximum resolve for a random major boon. It's very dangerous to make a pact, but if you pick the right circumstances, your gamble could pay off. In addition to rewards that help you progress through the Sanctum, many rooms let you immediately receive pathofexile currency items, but with a twist. Whenever you're offered some currency items that you can receive right away, you are also offered a more valuable option that will be waiting for you after the boss fight at the end of the current floor of the Sanctum. It's a gamble, because if you fail your run before you reach and defeat the boss, you will not receive the reward you picked. Later on, you're offered the extreme temptation of getting a massive currency
No, I
reward
didn't
that is
see his
conditional
gear.
on completing your entire Sanctum run without failing.
I don't know, the rewards here
At
don't
point
seem
in the
good.
Forbidden Sanctum storyline, you'll discover a special altar that Templar relics can be placed on. These relics directly affect your Sanctum runs and are not lost when a run ends. They persist throughout the League as a
I'm seeing a lot of
source
stuff
meta
that
progression.
improves the run or makes it
Acquiring
harder,
new and
but
better relics is one of the ways you can push farther
I
and
want to see
farther
the
with each run you
rewards.
try. Relics cannot be crafted and cannot be traded, as they represent your personal progression throughout the League. You'll accumulate more than you can use simultaneously, so you'll have options to fine-tune your strategy from run to run. You can store your extra relics in the Relic Locker, a free storage space like the Expedition Locker. We don't want to spoil important story details, but the end boss of the Forbidden Sanctum can drop unique items from a pool exclusive to this League. Today we'd like to show you a unique amulet called Eternal Damnation. This amulet offers a powerful way to gain additional elemental mitigation by introducing the concept of elemental damage reduction. Despite the drawback of reducing your maximum resistances, if you have sufficient chaos resistance, this is more than compensated for. Because of the roguelike nature of the Forbidden Sanctum, defeating the boss of a floor is a difficult
Doesn't
achievement
seem an
and hence
item that
rewards
makes
a
a
lot of
build.
experience. You may fail on the way, so if you do manage it, expect a good experience boost for your achievement. Another reward you can find is a special type of relic called a Sanctified Relic that has mods that directly affect your character's build. You can only unlock one slot for this type of relic, and while these relics can't be crafted through conventional means, you may find special reward rooms in the Sanctum that can modify them. These relics exist for this League only and provide a boost to character power for players who are able to master the Sanctum. The Sanctum League offers a roguelike experience that tempts you into taking risks and rewards you if those pay off. There's a lot to explore in the Sanctum, and we can't wait to hear about your experiences next week. In each expansion leading up to Path of Exile 2's release, we're improving Path of Exile's endgame, with new content to explore and improvements to how
What?
you customize your endgame experience.
I don't have
In
anything
the
turned
Forbidden
on.
Sanctum expansion,
I don't know.
we're revamping the Atlas tree, reworking how Eldritch Altars function, and are introducing 2 new Atlas memories.
Maybe anyone that
Tree
is
is
streaming
similar
a
to
Path of
Infinity,
Exile,
but has a
if you
few
watch their
problems we'd like
stream,
to
you get
address.
rewards.
The tree offers
Probably.
you the ability to specialize in killing pinnacle bosses, providing extra rewards when you do so. While this sounds good on paper, it creates a situation where you're
It's
incentivized to
probably
specialize
from
your tree
playing
for
Path of
regular
Exile.
mapping,
If you put Path
save
of
up all
Exile
of
in
your
your
boss
game,
fights, then respec fully into boss mode, and then do all of your saved up
it
boss
will
fights
probably
before
give you
speccing back
the
again.
rewards if you watch anyone
Ideally,
that's
the
playing
design of
Path
the
of
Atlas tree
Exile,
would let you
supposedly.
spec into one build and then just play the game. We have removed all boss bonuses from the Atlas tree, and have baked some of them into the actual base properties of the boss fights. For example, you don't need to allocate the Gaze into the Abyss notable that makes the Elder more likely to drop a Watcher's Eye, as he just has that drop chance built in now. The Atlas tree is now focused on allowing you to specialize into content that you encounter in every map. We also want you to be able to specialize into your favorite leagues even more deeply on the Atlas tree. For each of the 10 leagues that the tree lets you disable, we've added a bunch more passives to the tree. These new passives allow you to increase the league's spawn chance to much higher levels than currently possible.
I didn't get too
and
much into
juice the
this
rank
last
even
league.
further than before.
That's the first time I've seen it
We're
last league,
making a
and I
number of
didn't get too
changes to
much into it.
Eldritch Altars that mostly affect their rewards, but will also affect gameplay decisions you make involving them. Some of the key changes include splitting up the basic currencies, Scarab, and Divination card rewards to be explicit in their description of what rewards you'll get. For example, instead of map bosses dropping 3
Yeah, I
only
guess
basic
you
currency
get
items,
more rewards for
the
the
altar
content that you
specifically
want
says
to
which
play, right?
currency item
And
can
you
drop.
get it
As
happen
part of
more
this
often.
change, we've removed some of the lower
As long as
value,
you
yet
build your
high-performing
passive
currency
tree for
rewards
the
from
Atlas,
pool,
right?
such as Orbs of Augmentation and Orbs of Transmutation. Speaking of Scarabs, these
So
will
you
be
can have
less
more
available
fun
from
and at the
roses,
same
but
time
we've
be more
improved their
rewarded
availability
for
elsewhere to
the content
offset
that you want to do.
Rusted Scarabs can now drop from the core drop pool.
I
and we've
didn't
added
get
a
too much
beta
into it,
recipe
but I
that allows you
understood.
to upgrade your Scarabs up to Gilded using the normal 3-to-1 ratio. You can also perform this action from your Fragment tab using the new upgrade button. We have made reward types exclusive to different influences, so that you know which influence type to invest in if you want to target farm a certain reward. To give you a specific example, if you run maps influenced by, say, Eater of Worlds, you'll see Divine Orbs from the basic currency reward more than twice as often as before. We've also rebalanced rewards so that choices that affect boss drops or influence monster drops are comparatively more valuable. The Wrath of the Cosmos keystone has been reworked. Previously, it was so rewarding that players felt obligated to use it despite its extreme level of difficulty. It has retained the risk versus reward element, but with the overall intensity toned down. You can now also get awakened gems from defeating Maven Witness map bosses. This additional reward helps further balance the expected returns from the various types of influence. For more detail on these changes,
Oh, but that's
check out the
good. You
balance
can now
manifest
get
we posted
awakened
last
gems
week, or
from
the upcoming patch
instead
notes.
of just having to kill those bosses.
In the
You
Lake
can
of
get on
Gladra
the map
expansion, we
itself.
introduced Atlas Memories. When applied to your Atlas, they unlock a sequence of maps that tells
That's
the
cool,
story of an NPC's
but they will
past.
become more
These stories manifest as specialized
more
encounters
common,
that
I
involve
guess.
a new challenge and exciting rewards. In this expansion, we've introduced 2 new Atlas memories, describing events related to bestiary and domination. The bestiary memory line allows you to capture harvest monsters as beasts for your menagerie. These harvest beasts can be used in 9 new beast crafting recipes. These recipes
Bestiary.
cover an array of options. For example, you can remove one of the special modifiers from a Watcher's Eye Jewel and then add another. This can have potent results, but won't affect the life, mana, or energy shield modifiers. You can re-roll an awakened gem from one type to another. Another example is that you can also re-roll a synthesis implicit modifier. If your item has more than one synthesis implicit, it will randomly re-roll one of them. The Domination Atlas memory thrusts you into a tale of Pantheon gods that stand watch over their shrines. Like regular shrines, these are guarded by monsters and emit a buff that empowers the monsters until you claim that buff for yourself. This Atlas memory introduces a new set of shrines with specialized buffs, guarded by rare monsters that drop tantalizing
Oh, new
rewards.
shrines.
The Forbidden Sanctum expansion introduces a new type of shard that can drop from Harbingers, Fracturing Shards.
Yeah, I
You
bet
combine these
they'll
with
become
multiple
much more
currency
common
items, you
now.
get the Fracturing Orb, which behaves the same as the Fracturing Craft from Harvest. It can be used on any rare item with at least 4 modifiers. When the orb is applied, it locks one of the modifiers in place so that further crafting efforts do not affect that modifier. Items fractured in this way can only have one fractured modifier. Previously, this crafting option was gated behind the Oshabi fight in Harvest. Now that it has been rehomed to Harbinger, the Harvest crafting option is no longer available. This means that you'll be able to use your Harvest Life Force and Oshabi kills on other crafts. Because Fracturing Shards drop from Harbingers, you'll be able to target farm them by speccing into Harbinger content on your Atlas tree. The Forbidden Sanctum expansion introduces a number of new skill gems. In addition to some new melee Val skills we'll discuss later in the livestream, there are 2 totally new skills that we'd like to unveil today.
Let's see.
Volcanic Fissure is a new fiery slam skill that can be used with staves, maces, axes, and unarmed attacks. Strike the ground to create a chasm that winds towards your target. This
That
chasm
could be
can
cool.
path around corners before erupting as the fissure gets as close
That's
as
cool.
it can reach. It releases a burst of fiery projectiles that explode on striking the ground. Enemies hit by multiple impacts will take a lot of stacked damage. Use it up close for reliable bursts of damage, or aim far away to damage a larger area.
That's the type of
Constellation
skill
is
that I
an
like.
unusual spell, summoning a ring of icy statues that attack with your own weapon damage.
I hate
This skill
harvest.
has multiple
I don't like
cooldown states
crafting,
and
so
consumes all cooldown uses at once to summon a statue for each available cooldown. The statues perform a sweeping ice slash, and these sweeps can overlap, resulting in multiple hits against targets close to you. This spell can be used with staves, maces, and axes. The skill is particularly
yeah, this
powerful with
one's.
slow, heavy
I don't like
weapons,
the skill.
as while the statues will use your attack speed, you should instead prioritize the spell's own cast time and cooldown. This expansion also introduces
The other one was
many
cool,
new
the-
Val melee skills. As
the
you know,
volcanic
equipping
one.
a Val skill gem grants you both the Val and regular version of the skill. As you kill enemies, the gem charges up with their souls, and after a certain number are collected, the Val skill can be used once. Most of the new Val skills introduced in this expansion are melee skills, and this results in an indirect buff to any melee builds that use
Yeah,
one
this
of these
one is cool.
skills. Where previously you'd just be using your melee skill to kill enemies, you now get to periodically use a super-powered version of the skill. If you like Flicker Strike, you'll love Val Flicker Strike, as it really dials up the concept of letting fate take the wheel.
Flicker Strike
Val
is
Flicker
great. I
Strike
never
forces
did a
you to
build of
flicker
Flicker
dozens
Strike,
of
but I
extra
would.
times, slashing
I
enemies.
wanted to do it
During
one
this
day.
time, you don't deal any damage to the enemies you slash. You're quite vulnerable due to not leeching or generating fortify stacks.
But I think for
When
Flicker
you finish
Strike, you
one
really
hit,
need
if you
some
survive, of
budget
course, you'll be
to
rewarded
get
with
it
a single huge hit of
to be
damage
truly
against
OP.
each enemy you slashed. Val Cleave
A lot
is a
of
new Val
currency.
skill that buffs the behavior of its non-Val version, in a similar way to how Val Reeve works. Val Cleave triggers 2 buffs, one when you kill a rare enemy, and one when you kill either a rare or unique enemy. The latter is a strong buff to regular Cleave, which you can keep up almost permanently if you're able to kill rare or unique enemies often enough. The bonus for killing a rare enemy is that you get to steal its mods for a time. You can enjoy part of
I mean,
the
I
power
guess
of
that
getting
too,
a
but
headhunter
it's
without
cool.
actually
The
needing
skill.
to
I
find one.
never
Overall,
did
Val
a
Cleave is
Flicker
pretty
Strike
powerful upgrade to any melee build that could run
league,
Cleave. That +2 radius
just because
focus
it's
is
too
looking pretty
expensive
good now, right?
to get the items for it to truly
We'll showcase
feel
the other
good.
new Val skills we're introducing over the coming week. The Forbidden Sanctum expansion introduces
But it
over
looks
15
cool. It's
new
like
unique items,
you teleport
from
to each
Sanctum
enemy.
exclusive uniques to ones that can be found from Pathofixile's pinnacle bosses. I'd like to show you 3 examples of these, designed by winners of our prior league's boss kill races. Progenesis is a unique amethyst flask that was designed by Ben and drops from the Uber Maven. It's a defensive flask that grants a mini version of the Petrified Blood effect, but without requiring you to be on low life. This is a useful tool to prevent you getting one-shot by large amounts of incoming damage in scary situations. Rational Doctrine is a unique jewel that was designed by Rawlings and drops from Uber Venarius. By manipulating your attributes, you can change how this jewel behaves. While the ideal dream outcome is that you manage to get your strength and intelligence tied for highest, enabling both of the benefits simultaneously, the jewel is still very powerful if it only grants your choice of permanent consecrated ground or permanent profane ground. Entropic Devastation is a pair of unique gloves that were designed by Gucci Pradas and dropped from the Uber Shaper.
By who?
Currently, the ways to get Spell Impale are very
Isn't
limited.
that
These gloves provide the
a
power of
clothing
reinforcing all of your
brand?
spells to impale on crit.
Is a clothing brand doing
So let's talk about unique weapons,
unique items for PoE now?
specifically endgame unique
What the
weapons.
fuck?
In many ways, the weapon is the most iconic.
I guess that's
item
someone
created
that's
by
called
a
like that,
character,
but
so
what
it's
the
very
fuck?
important that we make them exciting and worthy of their unique status. While some unique weapons have special properties that enable entirely new builds, others are best compared to powerful rare items as a primary source of your character's damage. We have to be very careful when pitching the power level of these unique weapons. If they're not powerful enough, then they're useless and are ignored. But if they're too powerful, then they discourage entire archetypes of characters from trying to find or craft rare weapons. Interestingly, the above problem doesn't apply to belts. Despite Mageblood and Headhunter both existing as extremely powerful unique items, people still craft plenty of rare belts. That's because Mageblood and Headhunter are extremely rare, and people don't actually expect they'll reliably get one in a league. Players tend to treat them as luxury upgrades to their build, rather than something they're certain to get. In this expansion, we're promoting 10 iconic but underused unique weapons to the same tier of rarity as Mageblood and Headhunter. we are buffing them a gigantic amount and are making them incredibly hard to find. Remember when Starforge used to be an exciting item?
Damn,
Well, after this change, it certainly is again.
435%
It
increased
still
physical
drops
damage?
exclusively
What the
from
fuck?
the Shaper and the Uber Shaper, but it'll take a lot of runs or a lot of luck to earn it. Over the next week, we'll reveal the other unique weapons that have been massively buffed. We have targeted around 10 iconic underused unique weapons and have generally buffed only their damage stat, but by a lot. We've made a number of changes to jewels that are covered in a recent balance.
Headhunter is
manifesto,
still
but
the
in case
best
you missed
item
it,
to
we want
get,
to
right?
quickly
So
summarize what the changes are.
I
In
don't think
Forbidden
these are
Sanctum expansion,
on the top
we
of
have
the
made
list
jewels a better
above
source of
Headhunter.
ailment mitigation by buffing the values of ailment-focused jewel modifiers and adding new modifiers that enable mitigation to a wider variety of ailments than before. We have also removed some ailment mitigation modifiers that were only available on jewels through corruption, because there are now better options through the regular jewel mod pool. This also means that other desirable corruption modifiers, like immunity to corrupting blood, are more likely to roll. We want the moment of finding a unique jewel to be way more exciting than it currently is. We've added a handful of new, very powerful unique jewels and have removed some old, less interesting ones.
Oh, fuck unique
An example
jewels.
of one of these new unique jewels is Fire Song, which propagates any modifiers to your ignite mitigation to other elemental ailments. If you're able
Is
to
that new from the
substantially
past
reduce
leagues?
the
I
duration
haven't
of your
played, I only played the
you can
Calandra
use
League,
Fire
and
Song to basically
before
shrug off
that,
any
I think the
vulnerable
last one was
ailments.
Ritual.
For full
So I don't
information
remember
about other
an
changes
item
to
called
unique
like
jewels,
Mage
check
Blood.
out the Balance Manifesto post we made recently. We've rebalanced curses to make them stronger where they matter most against unique monsters and pinnacle bosses. We have buffed several Hex-related unique items and reworked unique items that previously interacted with Doom. To replace the Doomsday Keystone passive, we have brought back a version of an iconic curse-related
Oh,
keystone from the
then
past.
yeah, that's
We've
fucking
introduced
OP.
some powerful
Yeah.
new unique items that interact with hexes, which we'll reveal in the
I mean,
next
a combination of both
For more
that
details
Mage
on
Blood
changes
and
to curses,
Headhunter
check out the
is
Balance
probably
Manifesto
insane,
we
right?
posted recently, or the patch notes that will come out after the livestream concludes. When we first created the Arch Nemesis monster mod system, our goal was to improve
Arch Nemesis. That's one of the reasons I quitted the last league.
mechanics that have modern game balance. We feel that
Fucking hell.
Arch Nemesis did introduce a lot of interesting mechanics, but it unfortunately had several of its own problems. We have replaced Arch
Oh, they are
Nemesis
both
with a
belts,
system
okay.
that is more similar to the way monster mods worked in the past. The new monster mods are a lot simpler. They now each do one thing and very clearly state what they do. Each encounter with a rare monster is now less complex and is easier to understand in the heat of combat.
Now,
to
will
Arch
it take
Nemesis.
100 years to kill them
We'll
this
still
time?
encounter challenging combinations of mods from time to time, but this emergent synergy will be rarer than it was under Arch Nemesis. The goal is that combat is interesting and varied, with moments that get your heart racing, but without the frustrations of the Arch Nemesis system.
Yeah.
Let's talk about rewards. Under Arch Nemesis, it often felt mandatory to bring in a magic find culling character to kill some monsters for you in order to maximize your rewards. In the new system,
No, I
we've added
told
a
you,
significant pool of
those
new rewards to
Arch
the
Nemesis
mix, but the
on
reward pool
Calandra
and
on
monsters
launch,
are
it
not
took like
associated with a specific mod. So you
way
don't know
much
what kind of
longer
rewards
than
you'll get until you
a
kill
boss
the
of the
monster.
map would.
Rare
A
monsters with
boss
more
of the
mods are
map
more
would
likely
drop
to have these
instantly,
special hidden
but
reward
Arch
bonuses.
Nemesis rare monsters
To
would
find out more about other balance changes that are taking place in
would
the
take I
Forbidden
don't know how
Sanctum,
long. Like,
check out the patch notes, which will be available when the live stream ends. Over the last
oh, I
year or
didn't
so,
I
some of
didn't
our
get
senior
it.
developers have been tinkering with a more challenging way to play
My bad.
pathofexile. We've been publicly alpha testing this mode, known as Ruthless, for the last month, and are planning to make it available to anyone who's interested alongside the launch of the Forbidden Sanctum next
I'm
week.
not interested on this one.
Ruthless is an optional additional character flag, like Hardcore or Solo Self-Found, that completely changes how Path of Exile feels to play. Ruthless is a lot more difficult than regular Path of Exile, but it doesn't achieve this by making the monsters harder to kill. It instead focuses on reducing character power through extreme item scarcity, limited crafting, and many other changes such as support gems being drop only. We've posted an article about the philosophy and rules.
That's
of
not what
Ruthless
makes
on
Path of Exile fun for
r/r/Ruthless.
me. It's not like
We plan to
I want the
release this
loot,
mode alongside
less
the
loot
Forbidden
to
Sanctum
just.
expansion in a week.
I don't want to play
In
it
addition
if
to being a
it ever
character
comes to
flag
that.
like Hardcore or Solo Self-Found, it's also available as a modifier for private leagues. To be clear, the Forbidden Sanctum League content can be played in Ruthless with appropriately balanced rewards. Ruthless is still very experimental during 320.
Never.
and we won't
I'll
be
never
afraid to
play
make
Solo
little balance
Self-Found.
changes to it during this experimental phase. Ruthless is not for everyone, but
I like
Survive
the
has found a
trading, so.
supportive and growing group of players who enjoy the additional challenge that it brings. If it sounds like something you're interested in, then try it out next time you're looking for a new way to enjoy
Hardcore
Path of
maybe,
Exile.
but not Solo Self-Found.
This
Probably
expansion also
hardcore trading
contains a number of
someday
small
if I
quality of life improvements.
feel like it,
Some
but
examples
not
are Divine Vessels can now be used by right-clicking
not
them
the
rather than
SSF.
taking them to Sin. On the player overhead life bar, the energy shield bar is split into a separate bar. You can now right-click an itemized Temple of Atsuatl to see its layout, and most importantly, beastcrafting recipes that add mods to flasks now actually say what the mods do. We'll post more information about these and other quality of life improvements in the lead up to release. Today we're launching 2 new series of supporter packs, the Forge
Time
and the
for
Gemling
the
packs.
wallet to come out,
Each
right?
tier contains the pack's full face value and points, plus several
Wallet's
exclusive
out.
microtransactions. These packs will only be available for the duration of the Sanctum Challenge League and will leave the store forever in 3 months. As always, these microtransactions are entirely cosmetic and do not affect your character's progression or power. The Forge series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
I think the last one I bought was for Ritual.
The Clockwork back attachment ramps up as you build a kill streak, building pressure and releasing it when your streak ends.
Yeah, I don't like this one.
The Delirious hideout decoration lets you summon delirium fog in your hideout at will, complete with strange voices and terrifying apparitions.
That could be cool.
You're looking a little pale, Exile.
That is cool, yeah.
The Forge Guard armor set summons a hammer and anvil so that everyone nearby can watch you craft.
No one will be watching you craft, man.
The ethereal fusing effect turns your item link
Oh, that's cool,
into
though.
a spectator sport. If you manage to hit a 6 link, people watching are even prompted to send a congratulatory message.
What the fuck? But that's
Summoning
cool,
the
though.
Crow Storm portal effect causes a murder of crows to erupt from the portal. The portal becomes
This
dormant
portal
if
is
you're
cool,
far
too.
away from it, causing the crows to take to the skies. The High Templar weapon effect smites the undead you fight and scours the souls of those you put to rest. The Gemling Pack series also has 6 exclusive microtransactions. The Beehive weapon effect lets your weapon play host to a swarm of angry bees, which erupt from the hive whenever you hit an enemy with the weapon. Critical hits cause the hive to send out its best warriors. The Stampede Quicksilver Flask makes you the leader of your own personal rower herd. Activating the flask causes a host of ghostly rowers to charge alongside
Oh,
you.
that's cool.
This is the Gemling Artificer armor set. It is inlaid with gems that match the gems you've socketed in your items. Crafting gems with gem cutters.
This is for the Avengers, if you want to cosplay Infinity,
for all to see.
the Gauntlet,
This armor
right?
set also includes alternate gem level up effects. Prospero's ring blesses you with a constant shower of coins, and it helps you thank players you've traded with through a hearty fist bump. The consuming ooze pet bounces alongside you and devours corpses in your wake, spitting out a tidy pile of bones. Finally, this pack allows you to reunite with Kadiro Perandus, inviting him to your hideout as a vendor. In addition to buying items from you and using his connections to accept your divination cards, he'll provide commentary on your goods, equipment, and anything else he sees fit to judge you for.
That might be a little too much to drink, even for me.
Kadiro has hundreds of lines of voice acting.
What? Oh, a mighty headhunter. I'm so impressed. Try to duck when the brain fragments splatter everywhere. You wouldn't want to sully your armor.
These new packs are available right now at pathofexile.com/purchase. Purchases like these directly fund the ongoing development of Path of Exile 1 and 2, and we really appreciate your support. Meanwhile, the Knight and Rogue packs leave the store forever in 1 week, so now's your last chance to purchase them. The Calandra edition of Kirik's Vault Pass is only available until the end of the Calandra League, and will be replaced with a new set of unique items when the Forbidden Sanctum launches. By the way, we're hoping to film Season 11 of Build of the Week once the Forbidden Sanctum comes out. If you want to submit your build for the season, share your build guide on the class forums on pathofexile.com. Next up, we've got the Q&A with Ziggy D. Once that ends, we'll post the full patch notes for the Forbidden Sanctum. Over the next week, our community
I
team will
don't care
post
about
expansion's
the
challenge
the
rewards,
next segment.
information on how to update your item filters, all new and changed
I think
gems,
it
and
was
information on how to
okay.
update
I want to
cards.
see the patch
On
notes,
launch weekend, we expect
and
to
then
release the new mystery
I
box,
may
and we'll
decide
follow
if
up
I
with a
will
new
play it
Kirik's
or
Vault
not.
Pass in the days after
The
launch.
league mechanic seems okay. It's like
Thanks for
roguelike.
joining us and checking out the Forbidden Sanctum.
I am
Can't
just a
wait to
bit
join you in
concerned.
the
I don't know
replays
what
on
changes they
December 9th.
did with the
We'll
loot
begin the Q&A
stuff
shortly,
from
so
last
please get
league,
your
and
questions ready and
I guess Nemesis is better now. Arch Nemesis. But I don't know, the loot was dropping way too little last league, but I think they changed that, right?